Connie, why is assessment such a critical element in the instruction process?
Assessment in the past has often been in a separate compartment, but I believe that researchers, teachers, educators now know that assessment is an integral part of instruction, and that assessment has to be multifaceted, just as instruction is. In other words, it has to involve not just summative assessment, not just how do students do at the end of a chapter or at the end of a unit, but while they're in the process of learning the material in a chapter or in a unit. And we call that kind of assessment formative. And I think that teachers need to be accountable for what students are producing in terms of language as they move through the process of learning that language. So formative assessment as well as summative assessment have to be a part of assessment. I also think that we need to look at various kinds of instruments that we assess students with, some of which are perhaps discrete point or may just focus on oral language or on listening or reading and writing. But I really believe that language can be assessed in other ways, that we need to look at more holistic ways for evaluating language. And so I'm thinking of portfolio, a portfolio being maintained for each and every student so you can watch the progression of their language over time in terms of the kind of language they're producing both orally and in written form. So we have, formative assessment, summative assessment, we have objective assessment, we have subjective assessment where we're probably using rubrics, but to take some of that subjectivity out of it, we're actually, marking off how students are doing based on a rubric of our own expectations. And then I think also we need to have comprehensive kinds of assessment and assessment that alerts us to gaps in students' language development so that we can shore those up and make sure that we can move them to the next level.